saying Macbeth.
We're not in a theater.
We're not in a theater.
I always check before I say it.
At the end of the podcast, it'll be like, and we weren't recording.
Macbeth.
Oh.
Let's do it. Let's tempt fate.
Okay.
Okay.
We're not in a theater. So.
Yeah. Is that how it works? Has anybody tested this theory?
I mean, like normally.
Have you tested, like gone into the theater and said it?
Oh yeah, like by accident.
But
then I'll just like spit and swear afterwards.
Yeah,
I've
never let the curse not get reversed because I'm not going to tempt fate that way. I don't know. I feel like most like theater people are like not like superstitious, but a little stitious.
Is there a way to reverse the curse?
Yeah, you have to go outside and you have to spit and swear and turn in a circle or
like
something.
3 times.
Yeah, something to that degree.
And curse.
Yeah, I mean you don't like actually spit, but like usually I just like swear and then just like spin around in a panic because I just said the M word. So
I feel like
Scottish play.
Yeah, I haven't had to do that since like Delview. I'm usually like pretty conscious of that now.
I accidentally said it like in my for my last UBC show.
Okay.
And then I had to reverse it.
Okay.
So we were fine.
Everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The show was great.
Because stuff has happened. Right?
Yeah.
There's documented evidence.
Oh, yes. This is a fact. Like, we know
this. Documented Macbeth mishaps. Yeah. I wonder why it's Macbeth specifically. Is it just because it's like a very popular Shakespeare play? Why couldn't it be the name of like a really obscure like Shakespeare play? Like, don't say the word Cymbeline in the theater.
It's interesting how superstitions start because there has to be something interesting that happens that people notice, right? It can't be an ordinary thing. Mm-hmm. And then it has to be connected to some mishap, I feel.
Yeah. And like usually I feel like it comes from a place of logic. Like at least Filipino superstitions are like one of them is like don't sweep like at night. And that's because you could like miss if there's a valuable on the floor, you could like miss it. And so
what's the logic behind the grape above the door superstition?
Oh, I'm not sure about that one. I don't know. I'm not an expert in that.
What grape above the door?
It's not one that I've gone to some of my friends' houses. It's not something that we have, but you like tape grapes above the door.
Oh, grapes?
Yeah.
Yes, like grapes, like the fruit.
Like on New Year's, and it's like good luck or something.
Or there's the one where you eat, I don't think this is exclusive to Filipinos, but there's the one where you eat grapes under the table at New Year's. I think it has to be green grapes.
I think it's like 12 green grapes on New Year's. And then you'll like find the love of your life that year.
You'll find out about your life?
No, you'll find the love of your life.
Find the love of your life.
Yeah.
I had a friend who did that one and it like did not work. So I don't know if it actually does.
Well, if you love flies, you'll find that.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. Yeah.
So we were talking about your Jurassic Park shirt that you have on, Kassie.
So it says Jurassic Valley, notably not Jurassic Park or Jurassic World or anything of that
because
variation.
that would be copyright. I mean, the font...
I actually don't know if this is copyright. I feel like it's close enough to be copyright infringement.
I think so.
Maybe I'm just like a walking copyright infringement.
No,
but
it's not your fault.
So they filmed, I don't know about the other Jurassic Parks and Jurassic Worlds, but the original Jurassic Park was filmed in a specific valley in Hawaii. And I went there in 2024? Was it 2024? I think it was 2024.
Yeah,
it was 2024, and I went there, and I saw the valley, and it was all cool, and then I went to the gift shop, and I bought myself this shirt.
Did you see the waterfall? You know how the opening scene where they arrive at Jurassic Park, the helicopter like brushes through it doesn't go through a waterfall, but it goes next to a waterfall and then lands, right?
Mm-hmm. I feel like there might have been a waterfall.
I think that's there as well. But I think that's what I was thinking about, where you had to take a tour in order to see that. Yeah, I think you actually have to helicopter in.
Yeah, we did not do the helicopter tour. We just like drove up. It was for a wedding. And then I looked around and I was like, wow, I could like imagine the dinosaurs in the valley because it looks like the same as the movie.
So what you saw was a valley.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Like basically what you see in the movie when you like, they have the whole thing where they like look up and they're like, oh my goodness, it's dinosaurs. And then like what is it, like the Bronchiosauruses like walk by and the theme kicks in and you're like, wow, there's dinosaurs. And that's basically like you look everywhere and you're like, wow, it's that, there's just no dinosaurs.
Did they have like plastic dinosaurs or you just
they
had to imagine?
or you like went in the gift shop and they had
It's like all
things.
dinosaur themed.
I think there's a picture you can take with like a giant like T-Rex head somewhere. You can go to like the log. I remember we also went in 2016. 2016,
Yeah.
October 2016, we also went and we went to the valley. I didn't buy the shirt then, I bought it last trip. And you can see like there's this giant dead tree and it's like in the film, there's a scene where the kids are hiding behind a tree as a bunch of dinosaurs run over them. And
running,
the
jumping
tree is
over
still
them.
there.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's the log.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love Kauai. I like out of all the, I've never been to Maui because the last time we tried to go, there was the fire. But I've been to all of them. And Kauai is one of my favorite because it's so tiny and you can make it to like, it was, if you go to a beach and it's raining, you just drive to another beach and it's sunny.
Yeah. The weather's pretty good there because it's like, it just like changes. It'll suddenly rain and then it'll stop and it's good.
Yeah. So what have you guys been up to since the last podcast? You said 7 years ago?
7 years, because that would be like, that was like 2019.
2019,
It was
so-
after Drowsy. We were both 14. We're 21 now. So we've like, you take half of our age at the time and you add that on and that's where we are.
Yeah. And nothing has changed at all. No.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the pandemic, but I feel like everyone has already talked about the pandemic. It's a bit of like a moot point to be like, the pandemic, like it.
What was that?
Huh?
Oh, the pandemic.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Kind of blocked
It's
it out.
faded. No, I definitely remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so-
I mean, we're at UBC now, both for acting,
Mm-hmm.
going into fourth year, which is like so scary.
Fourth year.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of weird because it's like, really, has it really been that long since like Delview? And then I'm like, I guess so. Like, it's like on paper, it doesn't feel like it's been 3 years. And then like I think about all the things that have happened in the last 3 years and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's like approximately 3 years of stuff. Like, I guess that makes sense.
So when we did our field trip and met you guys there, that was your first year, right?
That was
Wait, that was
Yeah, that was
we
a
did
couple
meet in
years
first
ago.
year, but did we went for, there's been a couple times that innovation field trip has gone up there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
That's-
but we only were able to join. Oh, wait.
Okay,
Just
wait.
the first time.
There was
Yeah.
one
Just the
in-
first time.
Yeah.
That was, Cassie, that was during the arsonist. So when was that?
That was second year.
That was second year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. And I also like, I can like, if y'all need tour guides or something for UBC, like I've done.
Yeah, we've done campus tours because we've worked as orientation leaders. Like UBC has like it's 3 days, I think, like orientation
It's like 3-day
program.
orientation.
And we've like worked that job and it's honestly like pretty fun as like campus jobs can be because you can like you basically like meet your group of like you're not supposed to call them kids because they're all like 18 plus, but you meet your like first years and then you just like show them around and you give them like a fun little tour. And I like that they let students do the tour because I feel like professors have different things that they think are important on campus versus students.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with a bunch of students. You have to, I can see you guys totally like, okay, Kassie, you're going to arrange a ghost tour of UBC. And then Kristie, it's going to be a tour of all the secret spots where you can hide from your friends or study or whatever. Because you guys really helped out our innovation class. Well, there was that one group that kind of stole you guys
Yeah.
to help them get through the scavenger hunt
We're
that
really
they had to do.
likable,
And you
so-
guys obviously knew everything.
Yeah.
It's like playing the scavenger hunt on easy mode where you have like the cheat code of like, where is the Buchanan building? And then you have someone right next to you who's like, it's exactly in that direction.
Yeah, that group was really smart that they kind of hired you.
Yep.
Yeah.
They made the smartest
unofficially.
move at the top and then they could do everything else with like relative ease.
Yeah. And then I also have done like a couple or like a little bit of like campus touring in December and early January. I was hired with like a company that's partnered with UBC to tour like Japanese high schoolers like across Vancouver and also UBC, which is really interesting. I got like free admission into like a ton of tourist places in Vancouver. Like I got to go to Fly Over Canada and I've never done that
What?
before. And
So
then
it's not just UBC, you get to go everywhere.
Yeah, they kind of just like bussed us around. Like we went to the MOA, and then we went to...
Did you get to stand up at the front of the tour bus and like speak?
No, like I was kind of like there was like leaders, there was like higher ups, but then it was like me and some other UBC students that were kind of like leading groups of like 5.
That's fun.
And it was fun because like there's like a language barrier, and like some of them they're like, yeah, like I've never been outside of like Japan before.
Yeah.
And so like how do you like talk? How do you like sometimes like I'd stand there and I was like, oh, I don't know how to, because like they would do like a land acknowledgement and they'd be like, okay, like if your group didn't understand, just like, explain it. And I'd be like, oh, I like, how do I get into that? Like really fast. But
oh gosh, you need to talk about finding Tung Tung Sahar in the museum.
Oh.
Who's that?
Do you know Tung Tung Sahar?
No.
Like the meme, like the AI meme? He looks like a stick.
No,
he looks like a tree with like a bat or something. It's like
there was like a carving in the MOA. And
the kids who are listening will know.
Yeah,
there's a carving of that.
No. There's like, because we're in the MOA and there's like tons of carvings, like traditional carvings. And like there was this girl who was like relatively, like her English was pretty limited, but she was like, she pointed to a carving and she was like, Tung Tung. And I was like, what? She was like, Tung Tung. And I was like, huh? And she whipped out her phone and she like showed me a picture of Tung Tung Sahar. She's like, yeah, it looks just like Tung Tung Sahar. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's
what we've learned is that Tung Tung Sahar transcends language.
That is where it came from, the origin of Tung Tung Sahar, whatever that is.
I don't think it was from there.
Aw, that's too bad. That's what she thinks now.
Yeah, I was like, I guess.
You could totally lie to people on those tours, couldn't you?
I guess.
They wouldn't know any different.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, like never gonna see you again. I got some gifts after, actually. Like because like one of my conversation points, like I've talked about food, and I was like, guys, like I love matcha and like bubble tea. Like I'd be like, like boba, like bubble tea, and they'd be like, yeah, and I'd be like, there's so much in Vancouver, like there's so much, and I like, it's so good, it's like my favorite drink. And on the last day, there was a student who gave me like a packet of matcha Kit Kats.
Wow,
which is really fun.
Which you can only get in Japan, right? Or you can get it here at some stores, but
probably some like Asian grocery stores.
I feel like they have green tea Kit Kats here, but I feel like that's
matcha.
Different from matcha.
There are so many different flavors in Japan.
Yeah,
you guys still haven't gone to Japan.
No, we've only been to one Asian country, and it's the Philippines.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah.
I always wondered about those star tours in Hollywood and whether any of it's true. I don't know if you've taken one. I don't think I've taken one, but I've definitely seen it before.
I've never been to California.
Hashtag sad.
No, I've been to 4 U.S. states. I've been to Washington State. I've been to Oregon. I've been to Hawaii, and I've been to Alaska. So,
well, I've never been to Alaska. So
Alaska's fun. We did like a cruise. It went through the Panhandle. You see like the whales and the glaciers.
We like stopped through the Yukon, and all of the Americans on that boat were like, "Oh my gosh, this is Canada! Like this is so cool."
Like because the cruise, it was cheaper to go out of Seattle than Vancouver. So it's like all of the stops were like, we're going to Skagway, and we're going to Ketchikan, and we're going to Victoria.
But we stopped in Victoria, and we're like, okay.
Yeah, like
sure.
We're like, wow, we're this is Canada, and I was like, well, okay, but like
this is like not like the best representation.
Not enthusiasm.
This is not indicative of the entirety of Canada. And when we got to the Yukon, there was a group of American passengers who someone was explaining to them like who Terry Fox was, and then I like realized I was like, Terry Fox isn't like a globally renowned like figure, like he's just like a Canadian like figure, which I guess kind of makes sense because the Marathon of Hope was so tied to like, we're going to run across Canada.
Yeah.
But that's still like very crazy to me that there's people just south of the border who have never heard of Terry Fox.
I think there are like at the last Terry Fox run, some things came out on social media where there were Terry Fox runs around the world in places you wouldn't imagine. So I can't remember what those places were, but I was very surprised. I was like, how do they know about Terry Fox? But he's like a hero to some small country somewhere in the world, like where they actually do the Terry Fox run.
Hey, that is actually very pleasantly surprising.
Yeah, I got to look it up later, but yeah, it is surprising how many people know about Terry Fox that you wouldn't imagine. Mm-hmm. So word's gotten out. If you know, you know.
And isn't there one of the Canadian bills where they're going to put him on or something? I feel like that's something that I've heard for a while because we have one vertical bill, and I feel like you would think that there would be more vertical bills planned.
Yeah, there should be. And I think somebody suggested renaming Vancouver Airport as well as the Terry Fox
I saw
Airport.
that, and then I was like, it was interesting because I think that had mixed reception because I think there were some people that were like, this is a great idea, but then there was like some people that were like, why are we spending money to do this? But
I guess that is a thing, is that when you rename something, you have to like invest
Change
in
everything.
data.
everything.
Yeah, it reminds me of, this was many, many years ago, but there was a whole thing where the city of Vancouver was going to change their logo, and literally all it was taking out the flower and shifting over the words, and that was going to cost like $1 million or something.
Change the font.
Like they literally
Go
had,
into Word and then highlight.
And then just like
I remember they had that like on the news. They're like, this is how simple it is to change the logo. And they did it in like 2 seconds. And they're like, that's going to cost $1 million.
Yeah. You know, Avatar uses papyrus, right?
Yes. It's the SNL sketch.
Yes, that's right.
Or like it's papyrus. Yeah.
Like such an expensive movie. They're like, oh shoot, we don't have any more money to spend on a custom word font. Let's just, that looks like kind of old timey and like
Kind of fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a word font now, right? Like they have to for like the newer Avatar movies.
I don't know.
I feel like they might.
I thought it was just the same font.
It looks the same to me.
Is it the same? It's still papyrus?
Maybe they updated it. It's Papyrus Plus.
Papyrus.
It's like papyrus with slight alterations.
I don't know. Maybe they had a CGI work on that. I don't know. Who knows? Fonts. So you've never been to California. So you've never been to Disneyland or the
What else
coast
is
and
what else is in LA? There's a lot of things in LA.
Well, like
Golden Seals
California.
and
When we were like, when we were in
Rip Golden Seals till 1976.
good Mexican food.
yeah, when we were like little, I remember that we were talking to our parents and we're like, going to Disneyland would be cool, but they were like, yeah, and you're like 8 years old, so like you won't, if we take you there, like you're not going to remember it, so we're just going to take you when you're older, and we still have to.
Mom, Dad, we're older now.
Yeah,
We're
I'd
older
love to
now.
see like the Star Wars stuff. I'm sad that like I'm a little too, well, no, you can always show up and like talk to the character performers and they will like play along with you. But like I feel like when you're a little kid, you get special attention from like the character performers. And now I've definitely outgrown like the experience of like I could not like meet like Rey in like the Star Wars land and have her give me like a premium 5 minutes. Like she'd just be like, okay, picture and we're done. You know?
But I think I would really enjoy that because I've seen so many videos of like character performers in the parks, and I have so much respect for it because their improv skills are so good. There's like, okay, like I know she doesn't work there anymore, but there was like the lady who played the evil queen, and she's
so good.
I watched like every interaction that's ever been recorded.
Yeah,
of
she
her.
got really
Like,
popular because I feel like it's kind of tough to play a villain character sometimes.
You mean
Like,
Maleficent?
No, like
No.
like evil queen, like Snow White evil queen.
Oh, Snow
yeah, does
White.
she have a name?
Yeah.
She's Gal Gadot now, but I don't know if they gave her like a canon name.
I think she's just the evil queen.
Isn't Maleficent from Snow White?
No, she's
No, Maleficent's
Wait,
from
I don't know.
Sleeping Beauty, is
Oh.
she not?
Yes,
I don't know.
yes. And then there's the
Too bad Turpin's not here.
I
He'd
know.
totally correct me.
you know.
No, evil queen is like the one with like she has like cloth on, like you can't
Yeah,
see her
she's
hair.
got-
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
And she was so good because I feel like it's almost harder as a villain to like, how do you be in character but not like just insulting people? And she'd always toe the line in like a really like fun, interesting way where she would be like rude, but she wouldn't be rude, but she would be in character.
Just don't make kids cry.
Yeah, exactly.
Like she'd be really nice to little kids and then like be absolutely like diabolical to other people.
You have to know who can take it.
Yeah. But I've also seen like there was like someone who was like confessing something really serious. Like I think this woman had like,
To the evil queen.
yeah, she was like, yeah, I'm like here at the park because like so and so like recently like passed away, and she dealt with it like really, really well actually, because she like was able to not break character. So she wasn't like being like totally lovey-dovey, but she was able to toe a line where she was like still like, I'm the best kind of like egotistical attitude, but also comforting her. It was like really skillful. I was like, because I was thinking, if I was in that situation, like
Maybe she has a counseling background.
maybe. But she's also done it for like many, many years.
Yeah.
She doesn't anymore because
So it's the same lady that's in all these videos.
Yeah, but
That's
Disney fired her, I think, because I think they like got rid of the villains.
Yeah, I think they
something.
downsized the role of the villains in the park.
But
and
also
there is a kind of thing where people, like specific actors for specific characters in Disney parks can get quite popular sometimes, and that can actually backfire because then you have people who aren't showing up and being like, oh, it's the evil queen. They're like, wow, it's that specific actress. And it's not really great for Disney if they have like micro celebrities where people are.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there were theories that's why she was fired.
That's too bad.
Suffering from success. Like, imagine being so good at your job in the Disney park that it makes you too notable.
This is my problem with Disney these days. Like, I've been to the parks many times, even Florida, but now it's like I'm a little bit disgusted with Disney with being a corporate giant and all the power that they have and not doing enough good. And also, just creatively putting out basically remakes of the same movie over and over again.
I think it is too soon for a Moana remake.
Or like a Moana like live action. Because like that came out like 10 years ago.
Yeah, let's do a scene for scene live action remake of the same story. That's not being creative.
When it's scene for scene, I feel like I'm less inclined to watch it because I'm like, okay, well, I've seen it. Like it's just going to be live action.
Yeah.
Whereas like if it's a live action and they change some things, like, I mean, like that's mixed opinions, but at least it's like kind of different.
At least you're like, because what is it? I could get into a whole debate about post-modernity here, and I'm not going to because this is a high school podcast. I feel like
Go for it.
When you're remaking something so exactly, you run into the problem of like, why is it necessary? Like, why, if you were going to remake Moana scene by scene exactly, plus you have, like, at least what can be interesting about the live actions is that you can see different actors take on the roles. But they literally just got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson again and just like threw him in a wig. And I feel like that makes the film.
And the same Moana.
Is it the same? No, I don't think so.
I think it's a different actress, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know how to pronounce her first name, but like Ali Cravalho. I know it's not.
It's not her?
No, because she was like, I remember she was like, I want like a different like Hawaiian actress to play her.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to provide more opportunities. But it's also weird that they could have done the same for Maui and they just got The Rock.
Yeah.
Which is like interesting because also there's not like a shortage of Hawaiian performers and actors. Like they could have gotten someone else.
Yeah. I guess it's because they're probably in their heads. They're like, wow,
Well,
and
he's
we can get Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson
Yes.
to be in this movie again and have that same like marketing thing. And it's like, but then you're still running into the same problem of like, why? Like I doubt that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is going to do a better job than he did in, what was it, like 2016 for the original Moana? Like, because I feel like, and even then, Moana was conceptualized as a story that works really, really well in animation. And I feel like with the live action, I think it's that thing as well where there's still this illusion that like animation is only for kids. So now that like the kids who watch Moana are grown up and are adults, they need a live action version that they can watch that is thus like more serious and more legitimate than like the kiddie version, when the animated version is probably still going to be like better at telling the story than the new one, because you can just do things in animation visually that you can't in live action.
I just see too much business interference in the arts, especially with Disney. Like they like Star Wars and Marvel.
Do we want to talk about the wasn't episode 0 of the Raideo podcast wasn't it Cecilio watching the trailer for The Force Awakens?
It was I was just testing my mic at that time, a blue snowball, which I still have, that the district, Neil Stevenson sent me from the district. When I said I wanted to make a podcast, he sent it to me through district mail. I was like, oh, I got a mic now. So I was testing it with the laptop in the staff room, and then Cecilio was walking by and was like, Cecilio, have you seen the new Force Awakens trailer? He's like, what's that? I was like, it's Star Wars. What's that? I was like, oh, sit down.
I have so many opinions on the sequels.
Which one Cecilia has seen now? The Last Jedi.
Oh,
that's the only
him
him and his went into the theater and watched The Last Jedi with no context.
Oh god. I feel like however you feel about The Last Jedi, it is probably like the worst movie to start on.
He told me he was totally confused.
Oh yeah. Who is Luke Skywalker? Who is Rey? Who is Kylo Ren? Why are they fighting?
Obviously.
Who is this the old guy? Oh, he's dead. Oh, they're fighting. Oh, she's going. Oh, why are they running around in this space casino? Where are we? What planet is this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's also one of the longer runs, the longer like Star Wars movies too, I think.
Yeah. And like what they did with Marvel it's just too much.
Yeah.
Like I watched most of the Marvel things, but it got to a point where like if you miss one, then it's like, who are they talking about?
Yeah. In like 2019, I think I sat down and I watched almost every single Marvel movie up until that point. And then I watched Infinity War. And then I just kind of like, I didn't watch Captain Marvel and I didn't watch Endgame. Like that is like probably like the worst place to stop watching like Marvel. But like I knew what happened in Endgame because everyone had like posted about it. And then once they got to the TV shows, it completely killed my incentive to keep going because I didn't have Disney Plus. And at that point, a TV show is very different than like 2 movies a year. Where it's like, okay, I got to sit down and invest like 7 hours into this TV show. And I think people also were like, they would be very initially excited about each TV show. And then by the end, they'd be like, the ending was so rushed. Where's the pacing? Or something like that. So I was like, well, maybe it's not. And now I feel like a lot of the movies, yeah, like you said, it's a lot harder to watch it if you're not immersed in like the 15 plus years of Marvel lore.
There's too much to keep up. I'm like,
yeah, like it's running into the problems that like the comic books originally ran into where it goes on so long and they have to like keep it going. And it's like the characters can change, but not too much because like if Spider-Man has been going since like the 60s, he needs to keep going longer. And so he can't really age. And then the characters die and then they come back and then they die again and they come back again and new things happen with characters. And then it has to get reversed because the character was a clone the whole time or something. And they're kind of running into that problem in the MCU now where there's not really like a central story anymore. It's just kind of doing its own thing.
What is your take on, like you guys being in the arts, what is your take on creativity and business? Because, you know, just like what we just talked about, it's like you have to have commercial success, but also you want to see stuff that's creative and new. I mean, there are some movies out now like Backrooms, which I'm seeing tonight, Obsession, and those kind of low budget, I just made it because I love it, and then put it out there and people either go for it or they don't, but I'm just doing it for me kind of thing. So like I've seen a lot of the Disney stuff come out and I just got disgusted by, you know, how much it's just the same thing over and over again just to make money, right? But there has to be a balance. Like you guys have done plays and you want to try to get people out to those things because they're creative and they're fun and you put your heart into it. But sometimes you don't get the success that you want, right?
Theater is in an interesting place as well, where I feel like there is also like a commercialized element to theater. Like there are certain like theater companies that will put on like only like very popular musicals and stuff because there was a whole thing. We took a theater studies course about how theater is also in a similar place where theater takes a lot of money to make. And so who has the money? It's usually like a certain type of audience. And
like the donors and the subscribers. And if you don't put like stuff they want or like would want in the season, then they might stop subscribing.
And
Right.
then you don't get the money. And I guess film is in a similar place where like you have to assume that there is a profit coming in because movies are very, very expensive to make and they take a lot of labor. And so it is like there's a lot of movies that have been made in the past little while where it's always tied to a previous IP of some kind. Like the MCU has been so successful partially because like even if they put out a not great movie, because there will always be the diehard MCU fans who will go out and see it just because it's made by Marvel Studios, they can always suppose that there will be at least an equal amount of money coming back in. And that's the thing is that it can like creativity is a difficult thing to explain to a business executive who sees movies as a product rather than as art. And I feel like there's always going to be a bit of that like clash, and people are trying to work within the framework of that. Oh, do we want to talk about verticals?
Oh my gosh. Well, like, okay. Before we get into that, I feel like I feel like for creativity, it's very, what is it? Not useful, but like, it's very important to have, like, you can fail. And I feel like business executives just don't want to take that chance. That's why they always, or like, that's why it's very, I feel like especially now it's very common for like, it's based off this IP. It's the prequel to this, or it has so-and-so actor, because it's safe, because they know that it's going to get some sort of like income, versus like, I feel like a lot of original creative projects require that sort of, like, when you sit down to make it, you're like, I don't know if this is going to be really successful, but I'm just going to like try and like actually put passion into it. Not that like, I think that like plays that have been done for a really long time, or like very like commercialized, like creative projects, I think those can still be artistically valuable. And I know that like, even if it, for example, if it's like poorly written or like the structure is not great, like usually the creatives that are hired to work on it are like doing their best to like fill it with like as much, like as much life as they can, but it's still...
Like, what is it? It takes a lot of effort to make a movie that's even considered like mediocre and forgettable. And then I feel like it takes more luck for a movie to have a bunch of like lasting power. Like because I did photo doubling from 2018 to 2021. And for some background on that, it's basically like actors cannot work on set as long as an adult crew. So sometimes they will bring in someone who like kind of looks like that child actor from like behind, or their hands look the same, and they can get a bunch of like inserts and the other person's coverage in the scene and stuff like that, like kind of cheating things as much as possible. And that was my job. And so I worked on a show called Gabby Duran and the Unsittables for 2 seasons. And there's so much effort that like goes into that day in, day out to make a show for like 8-year-olds. Like, this was not like the most artistically fulfilling thing. And yet it did have like a lot of cool things like puppetry, and like the actors were very, very like talented people. Like it's, I feel like some people will see someone who's like in a movie and they'll be like, that's so easy, I could do that. And it's like, well, no, you could not if you were like juggling all of the things that come with that. And it, like, I'll always have so much appreciation for that show. And yet it's not like a super popular like show. It got canceled after 2 seasons, partially because of COVID. And yet like it was such a labor of love for everyone involved. But it was a Disney show, and Disney was going to do what Disney does, which is like they run through all the scripts and they make sure it's very safe and very like risk-free. And it was like not like a groundbreaking show or anything, but there's still so much effort that goes into even making it just like a watchable piece of, I want to call it art. It exists in like an interesting place, but for some people there's definitely like an artistry involved in that, even though it's like just your standard like Disney live action show for 8-year-olds.
I guess you don't know unless you're on the set or you're behind the scenes working on a project. I mean, it's so easy for us to dismiss some shows that we watch or movies that we watch as, you know, that wasn't very good, or, you know, but when you go into the behind the scenes and how the effort that they went through to create it and the ideas, and you start appreciating it a lot more.
That's usually why I sit through credits, is because like I think sitting, like it's like, okay, you went through the trouble of making this like however long, like 2-hour long thing for me, so I'm gonna like sit through like 5 minutes of credits so I can like appreciate.
Because also the people who usually get like shouted out in like the end of a like film's production are usually like a very, very, very small sample size of the people who make it work. Like no one ever shouts out like the camera operators or the gaffers or like the script supervisors, or like sometimes the cinematographers get attention, and like and hair and costumes, and like you only notice that stuff when it's like missing and it's not good. Like if you watch like The Room, And you're like, why is this so bad? Why does the lighting look so bad? Why does the set deck make no sense? It's like you only notice that because it's missing, and you don't notice it when you watch like a film where that's present, because it's just like, it's kind of like invisible, and you're like, okay, and now we're in like you just believe like, what is it? We also took like cinema studies in year one, and there's like, we took like a week studying like different aspects of each thing. So we had like an editing week, and we had a cinematography week, and that kind of thing. And it's like the goal, well, it depends what type of movie you're talking about. Maybe not like art cinema, but the goal of most movies is to have the elements of its production be like imperceptible and invisible. Like most of the time when you're watching a movie, you don't notice when the cuts are happening, like consciously. You just like, your brain just accepts that, like,
Ideally, that's what it's like.
yeah.
So,
And you only really notice the editing of a film most of the time if it's bad, or like the music of a film. You usually only notice it if it's like bad, and you're like, why are they playing this song during this scene?
Right.
Versus like when you watch a movie typically for the first time, you're like, wow, that was such a good movie. And then you can rewatch it later and be like, wow, the music is doing this at this moment, and it kicks in the third act of the scene and all that stuff.
Yeah. Or the themes, like John Williams talks a lot about his themes, right? And it's not something you typically notice until you go back and you go, oh, Leia has a theme. Oh, Yoda's got a different theme. What's going on here?
So many leitmotifs in Star Wars. I feel like Star Wars, especially the original trilogy, is far worse without the score. I feel like the score provides like half of like the magic fantasy element to Star Wars, and then like it makes everything, and then like if you take that out, it's just like we're watching a bunch of people in like foam suits.
I listened to a podcast recently where John Williams goes through he talks about E.T. and how different parts of the main theme are introduced throughout the movie in little bits and variations on that. And then it's really not until you get the scene where Elliot and E.T. and all the kids fly up into the sky on their bikes over the cops where you get the full theme. So all of it adds up to that one moment, and that was intentional, which is like just listening to him talk about how he builds all of these themes into a movie is just amazing.
And it's not like, it's probably something that you don't consciously pick up on, but for some reason, when you get to that moment and the visuals of
you're
it,
like, oh wow, it's like all coming together.
Right.
But how do you know that? Because of the music.
You just feel it. Yeah.
Because of the invisible language of film.
Playing with the subconscious. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, wasn't it? I haven't watched E.T. in years, but isn't it that you never see an adult, outside of the mom, you never see an adult's face in the movie? And that's, like, it's usually like, I've
Really?
seen it on like, I think so.
You never see it. You do.
Outside of like the mom, I think.
No.
I would have to like rewatch it. And I think the specific reason for that is because everything is from like the kids' perspectives. And so everything is at their
I think I've
eye
heard
level.
that, but I'm just remembering wrong, maybe.
I'd have to rewatch to see. But I think that's something I heard, is that we don't. And I think and that's like an intentional choice, is to, because like there's a difference in framing of like, if you're, what is it? I feel like there's some movies that have kids in them where you can tell it's from kids from an adult perspective. And then there's some movies that have kids in them and you can tell it's like kids from like their perspective. And I feel like E.T. is one of those films which is very much like kids from their perspective. And I guess the cinematography like enhances that choice by doing that and keeping at the kids' eye lines instead of filming it from like a taller adult eye line.
Yeah, it's from lower down. But I think that there are adults definitely shown in the movie,
But I think
and their faces.
Yeah,
but
I could be
think
wrong on that.
I think the focus is on the kids for sure. Yeah, yeah, and that was intentional. So let's talk about some of the stuff you guys have worked on. What kind of cool and creative things have you guys been doing?
I mean, like the most recent show that I did was like through UBC Theater was Piper, which was like a new work. So it's interesting talking about like in theater,
original Canadian theater.
yeah. Then it's interesting because like we were talking a lot about how in theater seasons typically like you want like more well-known things, and so it is kind of tricky being like, here's this new play that you've never heard of. The selling point was kind of that it was kind of like the themes are based around AI. So that's kind of like ooh, like I know this thing, so I'll go see this thing. And I really liked the show, actually. I was on stage the entire time, and you didn't go see it.
No, I haven't.
Oh.
No, I didn't.
I saw it,
And I've
which was
missed
neat
it.
because it was like
Kassie saw it multiple times because she's
I saw
cool.
it 3 times. I think and that was also interesting too, because me and Kristie, especially like at Bellevue, we did so much theater together. There have not been many opportunities where I've gotten to like sit in the audience while Kristie does a whole show. And she like really kept a lot of it secret for me. Like I had read the whole script, but
of course.
But like she didn't tell me any of the staging decisions or any of like the technical
that's an
elements
interesting
going
perspective.
on. So yeah, it was really fun because also Piper is a script that is very loose in terms of how
There's
you
like
can
almost
perform it.
It's like very loose in terms of like you can do almost anything with the staging. There's not a lot of stage directions. There's not a lot of like hints as to what the set should look
The
like.
characters don't even have names; they have numbers.
Yeah, it was
intrigue.
it was basically like the premise is it is the near future, and AI, like there's these things called real kids, which are like they've combined like biological human bodies with AI brains to create like they're not actually humans, but they're called real kids, and it's kind of like you wouldn't know that your friend's like a real kid unless they told you. Like that's how like undetectable they are. But it's like 10 of us were like real kids talking about various issues, various problems, but also it's like real kids, like whatever we talk about is kind of can be applied to like just regular teenagers who are like online and like using the internet.
And it's also kind of a time capsule. It's like a very fourth wall breaking show.
Because there's like this whole thing where it's like our models might be retired soon. And so like we're going to make a time capsule to prove we exist because the next generation is coming. And if that happens, then we'll be like obsolete. And I really found it interesting because like what we ended up doing with staging, I loved my director, Leora.
Shout out to Leora Morris.
So good. Because what we did is the process for creating it was really interesting because the staging was a little devised because we started by kind of interacting with childhood play. So we had some like tools and ideas that we wanted to use. So like mics were one and like balloons were another and like Sharpies and like a projector. We started with those materials, and there was a rehearsal where we just went in and we just played for like, I think like an hour. They just played music and we just like played like we were kids. And it was really interesting to reflect on like the importance of boredom and like in childhood play, like being able to just create stuff. Whereas like now I feel like, not to get too deep into it, but it's like I feel like now kids grow up with like instant gratification and like a lot of stimulation from a young age that they don't necessarily sit through that boredom. But that helped, like, because for the entire play, we kept being reminded again and again, like, it's supposed to feel like you're playing, and it's supposed to feel like you're a little kid, like, playing, telling this story and going through all these scenes, which is what it felt like. We ended up having balloons on stage almost the entire time, kind of a metaphor for the internet. Bright, colorful, constantly moving, unpredictable. There was nights where like balloons would pop.
Because balloons are fragile like the internet.
And like you could write on them. You could we use them to represent like the Piper, which is kind of like collective internet hive mind. But the balloons were like nowhere in the original like staging instructions. And we had a balloon drop every night, which was cool.
So where was this play written? Like who
it was written by Susanna Fournier, who is from Toronto.
So it's not something that was just UBC developed?
No, it was. Okay. It had existed previously, but only like in one other iteration. So this is like its university debut. Which is really cool.
It was a lot of fun to watch. It's like one of those plays where it's like, people would be like, what play is Kristie in? And I'd be like, Piper. And they'd be like, what's it about? And I'd be like, I can't. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not like a play where you can just like describe like this happens, like, oh, there's Romeo and there's Juliet. And it's very like the narrative jumps around a lot. It's like, it's understandable when you see it, but it's a lot harder to describe because it is best told through the medium of theater. I think, and one of the reasons it jumps around a lot is because it replicates the feeling of scrolling, I think.
Okay.
So we would like end a scene and it would be like, yeah, and we're going to sit with this thought on to the next thing. Like, how about this like thing? And it was pretty interesting. Also, that was interesting because, I mean, we were all playing like high schoolers, but also when they were doing costume design, they were referencing what we wore kind of like in our like high school like eras, which is fun because I got to dig up, like I was taking photos of like my yearbooks and being like, this is what I wore. So,
how long was this play? If you were on there the entire time?
it was like 80 minutes, 85 minutes.
No intermission.
No intermission?
But yeah, all
That's difficult.
10 actors were on stage the entire time.
Oh, you have to be like on the entire time.
Yeah.
But it was also like really fun. And also it was like we would break the fourth wall a lot. Like it was director dress a lot of the time. So that was fun because I like doing that. It's really fun to just like stare into people's eyes in the audience, especially like people would go into a blind and they had no idea. And then like I'd start the show and I'd be like, why did you make us in your image? Why do you want us to look like you? And they'd be like, what the heck?
Yeah, I feel like it's another thing with like the theater where you usually just suppose like, yeah, there's a fourth wall and I can like sit in my seat and be comfortable and have my concession. And then suddenly the lights are up and all the actors are looking at you and being like, what are you afraid of? I'm like, okay. But yeah, it was a fun play to watch and it like really made you, it was not a play where you could like sit back and be like, oh, I'm watching the story. It's like you had to constantly be thinking to like keep up with what it was doing.
Yeah. Well, hope lots of people went.
Yeah, like I think we had a pretty good turnout, but yeah, I'm really happy with it. I learned a lot, especially since with Delview, like there's like we would do like 6 shows, whereas this was like the longest run I've ever done so far, which was I think it was like 12 shows. And it was like across 3 weeks. So it's like I was building stamina as well of like like now that I've done it and I don't necessarily have like adrenaline to like push me through it, like how do I still find new discoveries in the text and how do I still keep myself alert, awake, alive? Because there's a lot of monologues too. Like almost
so many monologues.
Almost every character had monologues, which wasn't a bad thing. But it's like when I'm listening to this monologue I've heard like 10 million times, how do I like stay active in listening the entire time because the audience can tell when you're just like kind of sitting there and you're not actually listening.
You're just running through your own lines.
Yeah. That's what I would do in like early or like close to opening. Like I'd do that, and it's like, how do I like trust myself that I'm just gonna know the lines before? But it was really gratifying getting to like all the stuff we've learned in our studio classes, like getting to apply like different warm-ups, different techniques. Okay, well on this night I felt like during this moment this wasn't clicking, so maybe I'll try the strategy that I learned and I'll.
That's so cool.
Like it was just constant, especially this show was talking a lot to the audience, and that's so hard to rehearse because like it's so different every night.
You literally don't know who your scene partner will be that night. It's going to be a random person in the audience and you don't know. So,
is there interaction from the audience?
There can be. Like I'd ask questions and like the audience could reply. I only got replies a couple nights. Yeah. But it's interesting because some people will like, you can see when people are like not engaged and sometimes when like they are, and it took some time getting to get used to working with the audience of like, okay, if I, it was just really different compared to like, I'm going to say it to my director, my stage manager, ASM, and my AD. And like, that's like the whole crowd versus like, I'm speaking out to the theater and there's like however many people.
And the first play that you had that I went to, that D&D one.
Oh, yeah.
That was Hands of Fate.
That was definitely.
That also had director dress. Kristie's really good at director dress. Kristie's really great at looking kind of like unsettling and being like, help me, please. You are audience, help.
Yeah, that was definitely audience interaction for sure.
In a slightly different way.
Well, almost like shaping the story.
Yeah. The Hands of Fate was fun, actually. That was really fun. And it's still being, actually, I believe it was a few days ago where the director and writer of that play have been going to like conferences and talking about it. And they are most recently I think it was in Germany, like a conference in Germany about it, which is like really cool. It's like, oh my gosh, you guys are
seems
so
like a fairly newish but trending concept where you do have audience interaction, but maybe I'm wrong. Because I know Daniel Radcliffe is doing a play on Broadway.
That's Every Brilliant Thing.
Yeah, we actually saw a
You saw it?
We didn't
not
see
that
him.
one.
Oh, okay.
We saw a production of it at
Arts Club, BMO.
Arts Club,
BMO.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I feel like
Yeah.
audience interaction is also getting more popular from like a performance studies standpoint, where I feel like people are, what is it? It's kind of like what I mentioned with film, where there's an invisible language to it, where in theater, there's this kind of like, there's this like standard assembly of like, actors are over there and I watch actors do thing. And people in like performance studies are always interested in challenging the convention and
like
thinking,
spectatorship.
and what does spectatorship mean? And is there a way that we neutralize the playing field? And I think that's one of the reasons why that's getting more popular is that like, okay, there is a convention. How do we break it is like a thing that a lot of artists like to do. And so if there's the convention of like everyone is being watched, how do we break it and be like, we're watching you? And how does this change the social dynamics? And there's some plays that use that very, very effectively. Shout out to Fairview by, I don't remember the playwright.
Drury, I think is the last name. Fairview was put on at the Cultch in like 2023, and it's like really good because they break the fourth wall as a means of like addressing
Like the voyeurism. That,
like voyeurism with like that comes with like racism and surveillance of like groups of certain types of people. And it was really cool, actually. Like, I think that was a really good use of breaking the fourth wall.
Well, I love the idea of experimentation because just like what I was saying before, sometimes you just see the same thing over and over again and it gets boring, and it's good to have people take risks. I mean, there's a cost to that because you do have to have a living and make money and that kind of thing. But it is good to see some people take risks, whether it's theater or whatever art.
Oh, Kristie, should I talk about Antigone?
Oh, yeah.
We've been talking a lot. Okay, wait, let me water. Yay. Okay, so the way that
Hydration.
hydration.
Very important.
I was thinking about the last podcast episode we did in 2019. I don't think I drank water for the whole thing. And then when I started getting more into acting, I was like, right, I kind of need water. That's kind of important. We kind of need water
Part
to
of
live.
your training.
Okay, Antigone was the show that I did because I'm not going to get into the whole logistics of the UBC theater season, but when you're in third year, you usually audition for 2 shows and then you get into one. So Kristie got into Piper and I did Antigone. And that was really fun too because we got to do like our own thing. And they're very tonally different. Piper is so like, I mean, it's thought-provoking in its own way, but it's like, it's got like its light, fluffy moments. And Antigone is an adaptation of a Greek tragedy.
It was so sad because I went to see it
it's so
almost
sad.
every performance, and it was just like I would bawl like
my goodness.
every time because it was so good.
Okay, so Antigone is, the version we did was written by Kate Bedsworth, and you can actually watch that version, like that specific adaptation at Bard this year. Like they're doing like that version. I know like 2 of the people who are going to be in that show, and I'm definitely going to go out and watch it. It's
Probably going to cry
so
again.
good. It's so well written. Okay, what is Antigone? So let's talk about Greek theater for a second. So in
So
Greek,
it's a tragedy.
it is a tragedy. In Greek theater, plays were usually performed in like play festivals, and they would be like a thing for, is it Dionysus? Is that how you pronounce it? Like it would be like a whole like worshipy thing, blah, 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 blah. A lot of Greek tragedies came in trilogies. So they would all be written and submitted as like, this is part 1, this is part 2, this is part 3. So Antigone is the 3rd play in, I don't remember what the trilogy is officially titled, but it's the 3rd play where the first play is it, some people pronounce it Oedipus Rex, some people pronounce it Oedipus Rex.
Yeah.
That play, which has the whole like thing where this guy, I'm going to say this in the most PG way possible, which is that
He loves his mom.
a lot, a little too much actually. But he didn't know it was his mom, and then he did, and he like fulfilled the tragedy, and it's a whole thing.
And now there's incest kids.
Oh yeah, Antigone. That's her name. Say her name. Okay, so, but yeah, Oedipus and his wife/mom, Jocasta, had 4 kids. They had Polynices, Eteocles, Antigone, and Ismene. I know, really easy to remember names. So Polynices and Eteocles warred over who would get the throne once Oedipus was like, I'm so sad. And he poked out his eyes and he went to the desert and he wandered around. And then Eteocles and Polynices got in a big fight, and Eteocles and Polynices ended up killing each other. And then the story is in the kingdom of Thebes. And so in Thebes, they're like, okay, how do we figure this out? Okay, Eteocles, he was a good citizen. He's going to get buried. Polynices, we're just going to leave him in the desert. And burial rites are a very important thing in Greek culture, or in ancient Greek culture at the time that Antigone was originally written. And so the third play in the trilogy is basically Antigone trying to bury her brother Polynices, and give him his burial rites, which can be an idea that is a little tough to communicate across thousands of years, and where for some of us it might just be why is it a big deal if Polynices gets buried? And one thing I really like about the Kate Bedsworth adaptation, there's a lot of things I like about it, but one of the ththings is that it gives a little more of a grounded feeling to why it makes the burial of the unburial of Polynices a more tangible tragedy, in the sense of his soul literally cannot move on if he is not buried. And it also gives more agency to the women characters in Antigone, because I feel we could dive down a whole rabbit hole about the way because in the way that Greek tragedies were originally performed in ancient Greece, women were not allowed to see them, and women were not allowed to be actors in them, which leads to a very interesting history of how we think about female characters in Greek tragedies. And Antigone, the Kate Bedsworth adaptation, does a lot to give the women more agency. They get more scenes together. Antigone's sister Ismene, halfway through the original play, she just gets locked up in prison and we never see her again. And she actually gets to have a conclusive ending in the Kate Bedsworth adaptation. Jocasta is kept alive for the Kate Bedsworth adaptation as well, because she dies in Oedipus Rex in the original. And then this one, she gets to be around for the fallout of everything. And it leads to one of the saddest scenes in the whole I don't want to spoil, because I think people should go out and see Antigone.
It was the one that made me cry every night.
Oh yeah, and I had to do that for several nights in a row. And I was in the chorus, and doing Greek chorus work is really fun. I think it's I'm gonna get more water.
Hydration break. Everybody take your hydration break now.
Being in the chorus was really fun, because the way that the interesting thing about Greek theater is we do not know how the chorus was performed. Or at least we sometimes get an indication that they were singers, or maybe they were dancers actually, but we would not know what those melodies would be like, and we don't know exactly how a Greek chorus would have been done, performance convention-wise. And so that means, yeah. And so, sometimes people will have an interpretation of, we are chorus members, we speak in sync, we say things in rhyme sometimes.
Yeah.
And so with this one, it was very we were the ghosts haunting the narrative. It was a lot of fun. We basically got to show up and mog and be Jocasta, you need to go to Antigone now. And it was it was very fun. But also very sad, because we got to we're basically observing this tragedy that cannot be stopped. That's the thing about tragedies, is that or Greek tragedies, is that there's an element of it is inevitable, but also, and so at a certain point there is a point of no return, but where is that? And so it's basically watching every single night we're watching this irreversible sad sequence of events happen. And I don't want to spoil, but it is really sad and heartbreaking. And to be the chorus and just watching it all every night was a lot of fun, but also very emotionally hard. It's we'd finish and we'd be crying backstage, and then we'd go out for bows, and then we'd have to listen to light fun music in the dressing room afterwards. But that was a lot of fun. And also too, it's a more contemporary translation as well, because I feel there's this you want to preserve the poeticism of it and the metaphors, and so it's not like people are talking casually, but they're also not talking very academic translations. They basically just talk like people, but if people said like fun poetic things, I'm trying to think of like a good line to reference. Like at one point there is this king named Creon, and he is the one who has like decreed that Polynices will not be buried, and he's like fighting, and he's like can you see me now, floating above you all, my head hitting the tiles? I command you to speak the truth and bring me down to the ground now, before the marble ceiling crushes us all, or something like that. Like it's a lot of fun. I don't know. I had a lot of fun doing it. Like it was a Greek tragedy, but we also had so much fun doing it. So like I feel like people have you have to have so much fun and like laughter when you're exploring really dark, sad material. And that's definitely what we did. So it didn't like follow me home or anything, being like, wow, Antigone's so sad. I'd be like, wow, I can't wait to do that tomorrow. So I could be like sad on stage.
Have you guys done things that have been like emotionally draining? Like how do you deal with those feelings? Because if you're an actor, I would imagine that you almost like your body can't tell the difference, right, between what's real and what's not, even though you do. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I mean, most of the time when I'm dealing with very serious material, I'll have like a check in, check out process, or like a warm up, cool down. So like taking like 5 minutes after the fact to just be like, okay, I'm just gonna like, I'm going to lay here. I'm going to be like, hey, this is me. That didn't happen to me. And like, I'm going to like maybe journal about it, or like some way. So you're not just like, and I'm done now. I'm just going to go about my life, because then it can start to like bleed into your life, like what you're feeling. Yeah.
For me, I like a good like checkout song. Like when I was doing Antigone, like when we would be on the car ride home, I would play happy music in the car. It's interesting because it's like I would like it's almost like the adrenaline rush after like, I never did like a bunch of competitive sports, but it's almost, I feel like it would be similar, like the adrenaline rush after a game of like, wow, I'm shaking, that felt so cool. It's like I would finish doing Antigone and be like, wow, I'm literally shaking, and like I have a bit of an adrenaline rush from being on stage.
Wow.
But it would be like a very intense, like, because what is it? I feel like tragedies always go for like the really big emotions. So it would be really big emotional on stage. And then I get backstage and I'd still have that like feeling of like adrenaline, but it wouldn't be like sad. It would be like, whoa, I just did something really cool. Because I think something I learned is that the feeling of anxiety and the feeling of excitement feel very similar in your body, in terms of like, wow, I feel like I'm like sweating a lot, and I feel like I can't sit still, and I feel like I have like a lot of energy going on, and that's true for both of those. So it's like it was like a bit of like, you have a very embodied experience, but it does not have to mean being like sad or fearful or like any kind of like negative emotion. It can just be whatever you like decide it is. So I feel like that sounds very artsy fartsy and actory, but like that is the truth of it, for at least for me.
Well, it's very interesting to me how like really good actors, like you can't tell that they totally embody that role, and you can't tell it's them, right? So I've always wondered, like psychologically, how do they deal with that, because they've totally invested in being this other person who may be complete opposites of who they are, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think like playing a murderer, or playing somebody who's really evil, or playing somebody who's, you know, always optimistic, and like it could be unrealistic to the actual person.
Yeah, I think cool downs are really, like warm up and cool downs are especially really important. And I feel like sometimes that's forgotten, because you're just like, and I'm done. But like, I find that helps me through some of like the darker stuff that I've played with.
Yeah, in terms of like getting into character, because like, yeah, a lot of actors will play characters that they are like nothing like at all. I feel like part of it is that there's multiple ways in, is something that I've learned throughout my degree, is like, you don't just have to go like psychological and be like, what is it? I think I heard a story about Christian Bale when he auditioned to do American Psycho. Apparently, a lot of the people who went into the auditions would go in and they would be like, why is Patrick Bateman the way he is, and what must his childhood have been like to like get him to this point. And they would go very like psychological with it and be like, what is his backstory? But Christian Bale didn't do any of that. Apparently he just walked in and he was like, this is just how this guy like exists. Like, it's sometimes when you're breaking down a character, it can be really helpful to get into like what was their past like, but it's also like sometimes it's more helpful to think of like how a person exists versus like what their past was like sometimes. And or like, oh, we did Commedia dell'arte this year.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Which is a whole different entry point into character where
It's so physical because it's Commedia dell'arte is Italian mask theater. It's
all of the actors wear like half masks that cover like their eyes.
Oh, okay.
And you're very much working with like these types of like almost cartoony archetypes.
Like tropes. So there's there's like the innamorati, they're like the lovers, and typically sometimes they don't always wear masks.
Those two don't for some reason.
Yeah, there's like, okay, Arlecchino is kind of like a clown figure, and they all have different body postures that are like very extreme.
Yeah, so you can see a lot of, because the way that Commedia works is that it's a bunch of similar plots with similar character archetypes. And you can see a lot of like those character archetypes translate into like even media today. Like I feel like SpongeBob is really indicative of a lot of Commedia archetypes. Like SpongeBob is an Arlecchino. And
Mr. Krabs is a Pantalone, which is like older character who's like obsessed with money.
Oh, okay.
Squidward is, what would Squidward be? He feels also kind of Pantalone to me. He feels kind of Puccinella.
He's kind of Puccinella. Puccinella's like kind of like a begrudging servant type character. And they all like want something. So like they're like, Arlecchino oftentimes wants food because Arlecchino is a servant. Pantalone always wants money. The innamorati always want, like they always want love. That's kind of like they're all parodies of things.
Yeah.
Like parodies of like young lovers, parodies of like money obsessed, like wealthy people, because they were like, it was made to kind of like poke fun at like those tropes in society when it was done in like Italy.
And so the entry point into those characters is it's usually not help, but it's rather than going for like, why is Pantalone psychologically the way he is? It's a lot more helpful to, it all lives in the vocal choices you make and the body, like embodied, like physical choices you make. So all of those characters walk in very specific ways and talk in very specific ways. And then once you do that, you just literally are the character. Like you don't, it's a less like psychological, what is the backstory and given circumstances of this character, and a lot more just like I hit this pose and I do this voice and I'm this character now. And that was a lot of fun because I feel like especially with the mask, you could be literally anyone. Like I played a Pantalone and she was this, oh my gosh.
I miss this character every
I miss her too. Her name was Madame Gorgibus and she was very, how do I put this? She's the Pantalone, so she was very greedy. She was also very like, I'm going to be PG about this. She was very like lustful.
She was very lustful. She was like, imagine like a really, really tall, white, curly wig, like a la like Marge Simpson.
Yeah, I had a huge wig and like a bunch of body padding in various places. And it was a lot of fun doing her. And I did not have to like, I could not tell you Madame Gorgibus's backstory. I can't tell her where she came from or anything like that. But like I hit the body posture and I do the voice and that is her. And I feel like that's a whole other way into the work for a lot of actors. And it's also easy too, because it's really easy to get out of it because you just stop doing all the choices you're doing and then you're like, okay, and this is how like Kassie exists in day-to-day life. And then I do the specific things and I'm doing a Commedia character, and that's the separation. And also you kind of get that separation with the mask as well. Like Commedia dell'arte is very like not superstitious, but there's almost like a supernatural element to like the masks and stuff.
Like our teacher, oh my gosh, our teacher for Commedia was like, she's crazy in the best way. There was a whole thing that it's like, don't let people, like, don't take off your mask or put on your mask in front of people. Like, you have to turn around and you shouldn't really be watching other people either. Like when
The Mandalorian.
Oh, I guess so.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Kind of.
And like, she also was like, don't look in the mirror when you do it. Cause like, then you'll get like obsessed with how like you look doing the thing, and it like
interesting.
Which is like interesting because I also know there's some people like in our cohort who are like, no, I want to see like what I look like in the mirror because I want to see how it translates to see if like what I'm like doing actually like translates on the outside.
So what was the idea behind that? Not looking in the mirror.
It was kind of like, don't let your
I feel like
ego
it's just like
get in the
Susan
way.
being superstitious. Yeah, I guess I don't know. For some people, they found it helpful to be like, this is what I look like when I'm this character. For me, I found it more useful to just like throw on the mask and go on and like not think about it too much. I think the first time I like saw myself like wearing the mask, it was like kind of crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, I look ridiculous, in a really fun way.
It's interesting. Every time we have Halloween at the school and I make my own costumes, it always has some sort of face covering. I've noticed that, and I love that because I can go around and nobody knows who I am.
It makes you feel like a different person, even though you know that you are the same inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, in theater, the audience sees your face, but when you have a mask on, you can't use that tool. And does that train you to use the rest of your body and how you walk and posture and stuff like that?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Comedia is so much about... like
looks.
It's so much about the neck and looks. And
using the
I wish I
masks.
could demonstrate this, but we are on a podcast and I cannot.
like for example, like my okay, so I played like a Puccinella character, so like begrudging servant. I was like this witchy woman with like elixir magical potions, and like she was really fun. And like on her mask and like Puccinella mask, typically they have like a pretty big nose. And what you'll do for that is you'll use it as like, you won't look with your eyes, you'll look with your nose. So you're turning your entire head. Which works so well in comedy because like if you want to draw attention to something, you'll whip your head around and then whip back and you might look at the audience. And it like communicates things even if like you can't speak. Because also early in our like rehearsals and comedia training, we worked with masks that were like not entirely human yet or like character trope yet.
There's like different stages of like masks, and there's this one called like the larval mask. It's very much like it's a mask that isn't quite a character, but it's a full face mask. It's not a half mask, and we would just like work like developing characters from those like larval masks, and it's called larval because it's like it's not yet finished. It's not like a thing, and there's so much story you can get out of a mask because yes, it covers your whole face, but you have your entire body to work with, and the mask is its own like kind of agent for communication. So it doesn't feel like an inhibitor. It just feels like you're working in a different genre. Like you could say the same thing with film of like, oh, the what's it like only working with your face because the frame is in a certain way. And it's like, well, you don't really think of film as like an inhibitor. It's just like a different medium where you can be closer, and that gives you new things, and you also do still have to act with your whole body. You can tell when someone is only acting with their face and not with their body. And it's the same thing where comedia is just like a different way of doing theater. And so you have to approach it differently, but it's not like... I never thought of like the mask as like, oh shoot, I can't like work with like the top half of my face. Because when you throw on a mask, you have so much more stuff to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just find it interesting in arts where they have certain constraints to be creative. Like there's a movie called Locke where Tom Hardy spends the entire time throughout the entire movie in his car. And the entire story and what's going on happens through phone calls and things like that, where like really, really interesting things happen. Or Buried, there's a Ryan Reynolds movie where the entire time he's in a coffin. So I always find those movies intriguing because it's like, how are they gonna do this whole story and make it interesting with just one location and one, setting, and there's nothing else. And how do you, a lot of it is like theater of the mind where you have to imagine stuff happening outside of that world or, what's going through his head or, it's very interesting. But I think plays are similar to that. Like the challenges of a play is that you can't go wherever you want. You're stuck to the stage. And so whatever you build onto the play, there has to be, you find creative ways to make it work.
Yeah, and we learned a little bit more about that in our like stage writing class, where it's like, unlike film, you can just be like, I'm in a water park and now I'm like at a police station. It's like, how do you like, unless you have like a big Disney budget of like, you can just like change settings, like how do you work with mainly like 1 or 2 settings and then just like make things interesting. Actually, we did write, we wrote a short play that was actually produced as part of a play festival with UBC Players Club.
Yeah, so UBC Players Club, for their second semester, they'll usually do like a little play festival thing. It's called Festival Dionysia,
which is based off like the Greek traditional festival.
Yeah, and it'll be like a collection of like 10 to 15 minute plays.
Yeah, and it's like usually like 5 or 6 plays. And actually, I think we conceptualized it like when we were at Bellevue.
Yeah, so we were at Bellevue. We were watching, I think it was Addams Family, and it was the.
I thought it was before that.
Was it before? What did Bellevue do? Oh, it was Lifeboat. It was
the last life.
It was the last Lifeboat, and it was the intermission. And I had a thought. I was like, what if there was a play set? It's a 15-minute play, and it takes place across a 15-minute intermission. What would that be like? Because then you already have like it's a play that takes place in real time, and it has one location, which would be the backstage of a theater. And
we have like a ton of experience with like things going suddenly like kind of haywire.
Like write what backstage. You know, like what could happen? Could a prop go missing? Could someone get injured? Like what could happen? What could possibly go wrong in an intermission of between acts of a musical or play?
Yeah.
And that was the concept. And then we sat down.
We actually like what we did is we worked kind of with commedia tropes too, where we had an overbearing director, we had like an overworked like assistant stage manager character, and then we had 2 actors
who were both kind of like divas.
Who are like both divas, and they're both
That'd
like
be so
butting heads. Yeah. So there's actually recording. I can probably
there's an archive recording.
You already did it?
Yeah, we weren't part of it because I was in rehearsals for Piper and Kassie and Antigone. But when it was accepted to the play festival, they cast it and like had a director and everything. Our director was great. I really liked what they did with it.
Yeah.
I feel like the director character was definitely at least a little inspired by Alex's character from oh my gosh, City of Strangers. Way back when. Yeah, it's really fun to like work in like it was really fun working together. Like working with Kristie is a whole different like experience, because I genuinely looked at the script and I can't tell you what lines she wrote and what lines I wrote.
I think we have like pretty good twin sync because we sat down and we conceptualized, we like worked on different characters and different things going wrong that we wanted to include, and then we basically banged out the whole draft in like a night in a hotel room.
Yeah,
which is great.
It was a lot of conceptualizing.
And then after that, they had like dramaturgists to help us like edit and lengthen it. But there was things that like in between act, like costume changes or like mics being left on or like props breaking or like people trying to vape backstage, like that kind of like thing.
Yeah. Inspired by some real stories too. Like I think Tiana, #2023 Bellevue alumni, told us the story about like some people who were like vaping backstage or something. And we were like, let's throw that in there. That's funny.
That's hilarious. So the whole, like the set was the backstage.
Yeah.
And so the actors would go out and perform and then come back.
Well, okay, that was the original idea, because originally the backstage would be the stage and the stage would be the backstage.
Okay.
But then like that didn't end up happening. They used like lighting changes to kind of insinuate like now we're on stage.
I see.
Because also then I think our director originally wanted to use like silhouettes with lighting, like behind a shade, but they weren't able to make that happen. So
and we extended the action a little bit to go like a little. We had like a thing where it's like they thought the intermission was 15 minutes and it's only 10, and so we kind of saw like the show fall apart in like 5 minutes on stage. It was a lot of fun. I feel like the characters were like a lot of fun.
It's so fun to see like characters in front of you and be like, oh my gosh, this is you. Like I wrote you into existence and now you're like before my eyes. It's really cool.
And it's a different process too, because I feel like I didn't realize how much happens in play development until like I took a class on stage management and I took a class on playwriting, and there's so much that happens before you as an actor even step in the room. So much organization and casting and writing and stuff. And so it's like we got to participate in a process, like a part of the process that we usually don't participate in at all, which was the writing of the thing. And then we kind of just sent it off, and they cast it, and they got a director, and we like attended 2 rehearsals in there somewhere just like to see what the process was looking like. And then it's like you show up on the day, and it's
all baked. Like it's all ready.
It's the premiere of your play, and you basically wrote the recipe, but you didn't do like the baking process for it. And so it's like you show up and you're like, my job finished like 3 months ago. Like I'm not showing up to the theater like, okay, let's do it. It's like I'm showing up and like I get to like just sit back and like enjoy this thing that like.
And we also broke the 4th wall during our play briefly because
it's trending.
I know it's a trend. Because one of the actresses like breaks and basically is like, I'm done with this stuff. Like I'm so like she's snapped.
And then she starts yelling at the audience.
She's like, and you just like watching me up here, like you're just watching us here.
It's funny she walked into the audience and just sat down. I'm just gonna watch from now on.
No, the actress, it's funny, we wrote the character and her name was Claire, and then they cast someone named Claire. So Claire playing Claire made the fantastic decision where she was like, when I do this, I'm going to pick one person in the audience every time, and I'm going to get off the stage and start yelling at them directly.
There's also
she would pick someone she knew, so it's not like she was picking a random stranger.
Okay, that would be.
There was also the director started by watching in the audience because it starts at the very tail end of Act 1, and like it would be like a terrible end to Act 1, like it's like bad acting, and then the director would like sigh and groan and then walk out, and then she would like reappear on stage like for the backstage. But it was a labor of love. Like I really liked that play.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Send it to me if you can find it.
Yeah, no, we have an archival recording. So
that'd be so cool.
Yeah, I mean, like the audio's not like professional on that archival recording, but like I like how it turned out.
I understand.
Yeah.
Have you seen Birdman?
No.
The movie Birdman.
I feel like for an actor, I'm really bad at watching new movies.
Oh, you have to see that one.
I have like a mile-long like to watch list.
But it's most of it's about the backstage and what happens back there. And there's like these long takes where the camera goes throughout the whole backstage area. It's really, really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got like a peek into inner workings of like stage management last month because I was like an ASM for the same director that that directed like Intermission Play, also wrote her own play and had it accepted into another festival that was in Vancouver. And so I got to learn how to be an ASM, which is really cool because, like, again,
what's an ASM?
Like
assistant stage manager.
So,
okay.
Like, I did everything from like helping with like set, like loading in and out, and also like filling out rehearsal reports and like sending emails and stuff. And it felt very cool to be like in the inner workings, but also like my email was so full because I was like. I was like tagged in every email that was going on, and like actors are so sheltered in the process because it'll be like, here's this prop that I found, and here's what we're thinking of the set, and here's this thing with the venue, and here's this, and like it was. I have so much respect for like stage managers.
Yeah, it's like we as actors, we just like show up and like, oh great, the costume fits,
we're gonna
so
play.
We're on stage, and then like there's so much production stuff that I feel like gets overlooked, where like I feel like a lot of people are like, I loved that play, the actors were so great, and not like the crew kept it together.
Yeah,
it's amazing seeing you guys from Toledo Surprise till now.
We were re-listening to Toledo Surprise recently.
Yeah, I was re-listening to the Drowsy Chaperone. I was like, this is really good. And then I got to Message from a Nightingale, and I was like, I forgot about this song.
That was such a good play.
I still, my bag is on the ground. I still carry around the ticket from Drowsy. Like I'm like kind of sentimental about that. So I have a ticket from Drowsy Chaperone in my wallet, and then I have a ticket from Urinetown in my wallet. And I would have like more tickets from more shows I've been in, but they don't like usually make physical tickets for shows anymore. Although at UBC, when you order your tickets, you can, I learned this from Diane when Diane went to see Piper, that you can arrange to pick up your ticket at the door, and they will give you a physical ticket. So I'm going to do that next season for whatever like show I'm in. I'm going to ask someone to order a physical ticket, and then I'm going to take that and I'm going to like keep that as a memento.
Because people collect them.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if they will do that they probably don't do that for movies, right? Because I know some people collect ticket stubs and stuff like that.
I mean, like they do that. I've gotten like ticket stubs at like a Cineplex before.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But like I think it's
I
like
thought it was all digital now.
rare. I think also
I think if you purchase
maybe
at the desk.
you know what? I feel like sometimes that's been like if I'm going to an advanced screening, they'll have like a physical ticket of some kind.
Yeah. It's like a collectible.
Yeah. My dad is really into, he'll always print things off the computer for like tickets. He was like, he saw a FIFA match a couple days ago actually, which is like insane. He was like, do you want me to get like tickets for you too? I was like,
you don't need to
Wow.
spend that much money.
And he was kind of freaking out because the way that they do it is that it's in the app and there's a QR code, but the QR code does not appear till the day of the match. And he was like, is the QR code going to appear?
Is it going to work?
Like, what if my phone doesn't work? I was like, it's fine. Like, I was looking it up. There's some people who were like, yeah, it usually appears like a few hours before the match. So I was like, you're fine. And then it did appear and he was like, okay, I can go. Yeah.
I will definitely print out backup stuff when I go on a plane, for instance, because sometimes you just can't get a connection at the airport and you're like, whoa, it won't come out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we had so much experience with airports.
Oh, yeah.
Last summer.
Yeah.
We went to Europe. We went to 7 countries.
Wow.
We went to Norway, Sweden. Okay, wait, no. I'm not saying these in order.
Okay.
Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Estonia, Germany.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Which was like really crazy, but also by like the 3rd week, I was like so tired.
Oh my gosh. There was,
It's a
we had a
whirlwind.
really fully packed itinerary of stuff.
We went to see Cabaret in Berlin.
And we saw it in German, which
I
was
love
very
Cabaret.
It was so good. And also like the MC.
The only thing is we went with our parents and then
a couple family friends.
two
and
of
I
our
was
mom's
just like
friends
sitting there
came.
and I was like, guys, don't be weird.
Like it's definitely a bit of like
It's risque.
It's a bit of a risque musical,
But,
and it was all in German too.
cabaret.
So they
It's called
didn't know
Cabaret.
what was like happening at all.
But
and
you guys probably know the musical, right?
Oh yeah, like we were like fine. The MC also was breaking the fourth wall. It was a dinner theater, but we didn't have dinner at the dinner theater because that's really expensive.
Yeah, they kept coming by being like, "Do you want?
Are you sure? Like you don't want to?" And we're like, "No, we're just here for the show."
I'm paying for this in euros. Like I don't want to."
But the MC would like go to different tables, and I was like sitting there.
Oh,
and
really?
I was like
Breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, I know it's a trend. Like,
Trending.
I was like, "Don't ask me a question. I'm not gonna know."
Like
what you're
I'm not
saying.
gonna know what you're saying. He had the most bedazzled coat ever, though. It was like actually really cool.
That was a lot of
I
fun.
couldn't tell if the actors were American or German.
Yeah,
because I thought
Sally Bowles is an American character,
Yes.
but of course in this production she was speaking entirely in German. And there's some moments where she would speak in American, and I was like, "Is that just a really good American accent, or are you like?"
You mean she was speaking English?
There's some parts where
English and
Okay.
German throughout the entire
or some
show.
of the
Okay.
songs would be in English, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I love that. I love that show.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the movie?
I have
No,
not.
not yet.
Oh,
I need to.
yeah.
But it was
really
so
well
good
done.
because I was like, I need to see at least one theater show when we were like here. And then we saw one concert, which is really cool.
Yeah, we saw
It was
it's a
Wasia
band called
Project.
Wasia Project.
Just like they're smaller, but like I
feel like they're very
really like their music.
underrated.
In
legit.
Germany?
No, that was in Helsinki.
Yeah, we saw them in
Oh.
Finland.
Because
Finland.
we were planning the trip, and then I was like, oh my gosh, like they're gonna be in like Helsinki at the same time as us. Like, I wonder if I can
Oh,
go.
you were fans before?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it even more interesting.
that
You
was
didn't
fun.
just happen
The
upon
only
them.
thing is the opener was like I always want to be like giving appreciation to the openers. I didn't. The opener was
couldn't
a
understand.
Finnish singer,
Uh-huh.
and so I didn't know what they were saying. And at one point, like a conga line formed.
Oh.
Like they were like instructing people, but like in Finnish. So I didn't know what they were saying. And then suddenly a conga line like formed,
And I was
and
like-
I
I
just
was
kind of had
thinking, I
to
was
join
like-
it because I was like, okay.
Please let me like just
Just
hopefully
do
that's
as the
right
Romans
name.
do.
Yeah. So that was fun.
We went to a lot of museums. Our dad is like
lot of
big
museums.
museum guy, and
Oh.
so many
So am I.
museums.
I took like too many photos, and then like lots of war history too.
We went to 4 different. It was in Europe, so football games. We went to what is it? We went to like 2 in Norway and 1 in. I don't remember the countries. We went to
one in Sweden, 2 in Norway,
Okay, wait.
1 in Denmark.
Okay,
I
wait.
think.
Bergen, Oslo, Göteborg, and Copenhagen.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's 4. So yeah,
How long were you guys away for?
5.5 weeks.
Very long 5.5 weeks.
Well, at least you were away for a longer time. For 7 countries?
Yeah, it was like kind of really intense.
We stayed in so many hotels too because we would go to like different cities. We
The
stayed
train
the longest
system.
time.
Oh my gosh.
train
And then
system,
because we were gone for so long, we were also filming like audition self-tapes like while we were there. There was actually I arrived in Berlin and like because of the time difference, it was like past midnight and I got like an email from my agent that was like, "Hey, so this thing you auditioned for when you like before you left, like they're shortlisting you, like you're getting sent to execs. So like are you willing to like fly back if you book that?" And I was like, "Yeah." Yeah,
Sure,
and I didn't end up flying back, but I almost did. And then we were taping auditions, so I'd like receive an audition in Berlin, and then I would tape it in I forget where we went after that. Like I'd tape it in Sweden or something like that.
No, we went to Denmark next, so it wasn't Copenhagen. It was.
We filmed a few like self-tapes abroad, which was like fun, but also it's like I'm
That's a
on
whole
this
different
train
beast.
and I'm doing my character work and preparing and hoping
You could
that
totally make use of your settings, right?
yeah, like I
And
mean, like as
look
long
like a
as,
worldly actor, just traveling and
as long as
acting.
it has
the main
a
thing is
white
like,
wall.
you don't want to, because the way that self tapes work is that you want to be like plain wall, good lighting.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know if you're gonna get that in a hotel.
Sometimes it was like, okay, it's past midnight. I hope the neighbors don't mind the windows open because it is like sweating like we're sweating like a furnace in here. We just got here. There's a wasp flying around, so hopefully we don't get stung, but we can't close the window because then we're gonna suffocate. And like my eyes are really dry because of the weather, but we're just going to tape this and we're just gonna see how it goes.
Yeah, like when I was in, I think it was Göteborg, I got an audition, and the hotel that we were in had like this weird striping pattern on the wall. Like it felt like being, I think we gave names to all of the
yes.
hotels we were in, and that one was definitely like,
Adam's family back room.
like it was like weird and kind of spacey, but all the wallpaper was really interesting. And I was like, okay, I can't actually tape in here because the background is just too distracting. So I like had to look up like, okay, we're going to Copenhagen next. What does the hotel look like? That looks like a white wall. Okay. And then I just had to like wait till we went to Copenhagen the next day. And then I taped it and it was fine.
And then like after like when we landed, I remember being like, I'm just gonna check now that it's been like 7 hours without like checking messages. I'm just gonna like check and see if there's like any important messages. And my agent was like, here's 3 auditions that are due within the next few days. And then the next day I got another one. So it was like 4 at the same time. Which is always fun.
Oh, on that flight, we ran into Daniel Sedin.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Because we were
He
I
flies
don't know if you ever told me
economy.
that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we go to the Scandinavian Cultural Center sometimes because we're Norwegian. And there was one time that we met like the Swedish teacher there, and
We were like talking and she was
Yeah.
like, I'm from so-and-so, like Sweden. And our dad was like, oh, that's where the
is it
Sid-
Ornsvold?
I can't remember.
Something like my dad would know.
And like she was like, I'm from this part in Sweden, and my dad was like, oh yeah, like
That's
the
where
Sedins
the
are
Sedins are
from. And she was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm married to one of them. And we're
What?
like, oh my gosh.
So
'Cause
we
she-
were getting on the flight from Iceland to Canada, and it's like my like Canuck sense activated, and I was like, that guy looks kind of familiar.
Because we were on the shuttle. They have a little shuttle and they shuttle you out. They like
And
drive you out
he
to
was
the plane.
with his wife, so we knew it was Daniel Sedin. And we didn't like say like hi or anything, or we like waved hello. My dad said hi mostly to like what's her name, Marietta. He mostly said hi
Marinette.
to Daniel to her because like they had met before. And then Daniel Sedin kind of like waved, and I
He
was
like
there
very,
with-
very humble.
I was there in like my
Yeah.
Canucks
we
hat.
had our
and I was
Canucks
like-
hats, and I was like, see, I could have asked him for an autograph,
But
but,
also,
at the
it
same
wasn't
time,
like a signing event.
he was
just
like with
getting
his
on the-
family, so like
Yeah,
I didn't.
sometimes you
didn't
don't
want
want to
like.
bother
Yeah.
people like that.
Like on
but
the one hand, I'm like, I
Apparently
know
they're
so
very
much.
nice
Yeah, I was
to-
like, on the one hand, I wanted to be like, I know so much about you, but on the other hand, I was like, okay, I've seen you like play hockey, but like you're basically like a random like Swedish middle-aged man, and it would be kind of weird if I came up and I was like, what was 2011 like? Then they fly
well, they
economy.
run the Canucks now.
Yeah,
know.
I mean, like they were like literally like a few rows down from us.
Yeah.
It's like crazy because
That's amazing.
like that's really
Both
humble.
of them were there?
Well,
just Daniel.
Daniel Sedin and his family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah,
That'd be
he
crazy if
flies
it was
economy.
both
So,
Well, you don't know. Twins. They tend to travel around.
they tend to travel
Together.
around. It's like a trend. Yeah, but that was fun. I think
yeah.
my favorite city was also my favorite like nature was Iceland.
Oh,
I
Iceland's
have
beautiful.
like it was like wallpaper, like mountains and sunny day, waterfalls and rainbows.
Yeah, because elves live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we know, yes, we know this. But it was genuinely really good. I kept walking around thinking like, because one of my favorite singers right now is Leve, and she's Icelandic. And I was like walking around, and it was like, what if I run into Leve? Like,
I don't even think she was like in Iceland.
No, I think she was doing like promo for her tour or something.
Yeah, we saw Leve in concert. It was our second concert ever.
Amazing.
It was like we were like, oh, it's gonna be so hard to get the tickets. Like I was in the. Like I did the whole Ticketmaster thing, and then I got to like
it was like $200, and I was like, I don't know
if I can. And then we have a friend in the program with us who
was checking StubHub because the opener was Suki Waterhouse, and she's a really big Suki Waterhouse fan. And she messaged me. She was like, on StubHub, like I found like 3 like floor tickets like for so price, and like it's really cheap. And so we jumped on it.
Yeah, and we were like,
and we got barricade. Like it was like because we like showed up pretty early, and then we were slowly able to inch towards.
That's right in front.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like we were like right there, and it was crazy.
It was wild. It was like she was like just like right there, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Leve. And it was a lot of fun. It was a good concert.
Did you dress up?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Tiana won Best Dress.
Yeah,
I
Tiana
know.
won Best Dress.
Was that at the concert you were watching?
Yeah, like literally because like I
and we were right at the front for it too.
Yeah, because like I saw her walk by, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Tiana Francis.
I like filmed. I was like, I know her. Yeah, I was like so excited.
Did she see you guys?
Yeah. And then we met afterwards.
Because when the like security was like bringing her to the front to meet Leve, we were like, Tiana! She was like, oh my gosh.
like hands reaching out beyond the
That's
barricade.
amazing.
But
she's good at the dress up.
No, she was
she's
the
like
best
really-
dressed
She's
in all of Vancouver, literally.
Yeah.
And she deserved it.
So deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Speaking of the Sedines, you guys like pretty recently have become hockey fans, right? Like, how did you get up to speed
I got really
in the last few years?
I got really into it in when the Canucks had that run in 2024.
Cassie's definitely more knowledgeable than I am. Like I know enough to get by, but Kassie will like quiz herself on Sporkle.
Because when we talk about hockey, I was like, you guys have been super fans forever, but no, it's just been in the last few years.
I mean, okay, so I was invested in the Canucks when I was younger, because
unfortunately,
2011, and I remember having a vague knowledge of them beating the Blackhawks.
That was a
and
good
then
time.
The Predators, and then the Sharks in the conference final, and then losing to the Bruins.
That was our best chance.
We literally, I'm pretty sure, like we had like Canucks soothers like when we were kids.
Yeah,
like when we were babies. Like,
and then I kind of saw the Canucks fall apart a little bit, and then the Sedines retired. And then I kind of like...
So you did grow up watching a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. I kind of like... I think as soon as Burrows got traded, I was a little less invested because Alex Burrows was my favorite player when I was younger. And then like I got reinvested during the playoff run, and I was like, who's this Quinn Hughes guy? Oh, wow, we're good now. And then what a bad time to become a Canucks fan because they've been bad for the last 2 years.
Rebuild, guys, rebuild.
I got a Quinn Hughes jersey that's sitting in my closet right now.
Fun. There's worse jerseys to own, so like...
Well, I'm kind of waiting for this to blow over so that eventually...
So then you can sell it.
I think people are still like kind of salty about the trade, and I'm sure eventually people will. I mean, no, they don't always like because I mean, there's been some players that have like left that some people have been like, we actually loved this player all along, and there's been some players that like leave after being
like get red ends.
They quit on us. Yeah.
Oh wait, Kassie can name any Stanley Cup winner.
I mean, that's hard to verify because we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to verify, so.
But like, I can like 1961.
Okay, in 1961, the Chicago Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup.
Against?
I don't know who against. I can name who against post 1967 because before 1967, it's a weird mixture of like Detroit, Toronto, and Montreal.
77.
1977. That's in the middle of the Montreal dynasty and the. Okay, I don't remember. Do I remember who they beat? I don't remember exactly who. So
it was Montreal.
Beating. This is the Montreal dynasty, and the Conn Smythe winner was Guy Lafleur.
Okay, I just the internet's too slow for Kassie.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you've always had a good memory for
I can name
just weird things.
I can name Animorphs books too. That's a big.
I know. I know.
I gave that whole presentation on. Animorphs.
Yes, you did.
The Animorphs, I feel like I Okay, I'm not. I can't speak for the next 30 minutes. They had the graphic novels coming out for a bit, which was nice and like made Animorphs a little more relevant. And then I don't think they renewed the contract after book 6, which I guess makes sense because they got to 6 of 54.
This is where I have no idea what you're talking about.
I
know what Animorphs are because I watched your presentation.
Yeah, and then so Animorphs has not really had any new kind of news going on in like a while. I've heard whisperings that Disney Plus is thinking of making a movie, but there's been like 1,000 different. Like I feel like it's not going to get made.
They'll make the animated version first, and then there'll be the real live actors.
I feel like it would work really well in animation, but I feel like, especially Disney, I feel like is not going to follow through on that because there's not. I love Animorphs.
There's not a huge following.
I also know that I am I am one of very many, like a few number of Gen Z Animorphs fans.
This is why you need to have your own podcast, so you can talk all day.
There are Animorphs podcasts. I do know
there
that.
Are?
Yeah, I haven't.
Amazing.
I haven't listened to too many of them, but there are.
That's the great thing about podcasts. You can do it about anything and just keep going, right?
Yeah. I don't know who they're talking to on the podcast. I know that there's because there's only so many people you can interview in connection with animals. Oh, I did. Okay.
They can interview you.
Get her to guess the covers.
Okay. It's my favorite party trick is that one time I went to a party and I was like, okay, Google Animorphs and then a number between 1 and 54 and I can describe exactly what that cover looks like. So they're like, book 16 and I'm like, that's Jake turning into a rhino. And they're like, how do you know this? And I'm like, I just do.
What color is the background?
It's a weird one. I can tell you that it's kind of grayish, I think, and I can tell you that Jake is wearing a really baggy red shirt. I can tell you that.
Scared.
Yeah, like
how about those golden eyes?
Oh yes, we went to see a golden eyes
game. KK Harvey. It only took them 1 year to get first overall in the Canucks. They've never done it in 56 years.
I don't know that much about KK Harvey, but I know that she played for Team America.
Yep.
And she's like a Quinn Hughes type defenseman.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic that that is actually the
star defenseman.
That anytime someone who is coming over from the NHL and goes into the PWHL subreddit and is like, so KK Harvey, who's she really comparable to in the NHL? The answer is always Quinn Hughes. I'm like, oh God, please don't leave us too.
As in she's an offensive defenseman.
Yeah.
We also drafted a Messier.
Yes, that's right.
And she's actually related to Mark
People
Messier.
have been calling her Duck Messier.
No.
I mean, 6
Oh, that's hilarious, actually. That's pretty funny. Oh, golden eyes. Oh, that's actually, I haven't heard that one. That's good.
Something I love about the golden eyes, too, is that, because, you'll see, pre-game photos on Instagram of, the Canucks, and they're all wearing, the same suits, and it's, kind of boring. Quinn Hughes always wore, the same suit,
same
a
blue
beanie.
Suit, yeah.
And, then the golden eyes will have, the most, they'll be mogging in the most beautiful outfits you've ever seen.
I love
especially Sarah Nurse.
Sarah Nurse's pregame fits look really good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a meme at this point that hockey players seem like they don't have or in the NHL, hockey players seem like they don't have much of a personality going on sometimes. Their personality is get pucks in deep, move puck, make plays. But I feel and most of the time I feel like that's because with the NHL, it's okay, we are plucking you out of high school and you're in the draft and now you are in training camp and you do hockey. Versus since the PWHL is so new, there are PWHL players who are and I went to school for neuroscience and I have a doctorate, because the idea of doing hockey as a career for women has only become more sustainable recently. So I feel like they've had time to develop personalities. I feel like I could be friends with you versus I feel like I could not have a conversation with if I met Connor McDavid, I feel like we would not be able to talk about anything. I feel like he'd be get pucks in deep, get pucks in deep,
At a time where we're kind of down on the Canucks, I mean, you've got the Golden Eyes, and I got to see their inaugural game.
They didn't finish super high in the standings, but
that's okay.
I think they got off better than most teams in the expansion draft as well.
Right,
they only
absolutely.
lost 2 players total because they lost Abby Barine and then they just traded for her and got her back.
She's back.
Yeah.
But also our soccer team as well, Vancouver Rise. I got to see the inaugural game for that. And also, the Whitecaps were doing well. So, I mean, sports in Vancouver Vancouver, there's a lot happening. Hopefully we keep the Whitecaps because they're such a good team.
Yeah.
But
I mean, especially now that there's been like so much soccer hype like in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's so much, so many live sports that you could go to in the city, which is, people only think of the Canucks, but there's so much more.
Yeah, there's
like
more.
Golden Knights are so much fun to watch.
It'd be depressing if you only went to see the Canucks.
The prices are more affordable. One thing I really like about the PWHL is it's easier to catch games too. Like in the NHL, they recently did the thing where Hockey Night in Canada is not going to be on CBC anymore.
Sad.
Versus in the PWHL, some games are only available in America, but you can also like use a VPN and you can watch any game on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't know if they're doing the Prime Monday Night Hockey thing as well, but like if I want to watch
They did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they did. They were on Prime.
But if it's not on a Monday, you can just go on YouTube and watch the game on YouTube. And it's so and I get why they're doing that because they're trying to be like, women's hockey is accessible now and you should watch it because it is fun. And
I'm so excited for the actual jerseys.
Mhm.
Because then I'm
With the
probably going
logo.
to snag one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
If
They're
I
gonna
had
look so cool.
if I were to get a jersey with a name on the back, I would really want Jen Gardner is my favorite player. #Surrey. I was so happy that she was not taken in the expansion draft. When I learned that they were protecting Sarah Nurse, I was like, okay, goodbye Jen Gardner, goodbye Abby Barine, goodbye Venetia Pa, they're all going away. And then she just didn't leave. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I love how Venetia skates. It's just a pleasure to watch. Like, she's such a smooth skater.
I don't know if they've re-signed her yet. I'm hoping that she comes
Oh my
back.
gosh! And then before that Golden Eyes game, we watched the takeover tour. We were at Victoire Scepter's game.
Yeah, we saw
where
that.
Sarah Nurse was also there, and we saw the beautiful.
Oh, was it? It was that goal that Marie-Philippe Pelin scored
On her
where she
knees?
was falling and then she
That was the one?
where she
Okay.
she was technically in air.
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't
So
tell what
cool.
happened at first because it looked like I was like, okay, the puck is just, it's not going to hit the net or whatever. And then it just suddenly shot forward and I was like, what happened? And then I watched the replay and I was like, what?
How do you do that?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's Poulan.
Crazy skills.
Amazing. Well, we could talk forever.
Yeah.
But really, you guys should take out your podcast gear and
Exactly.
record your own podcast.
Because I did my...
That should go somewhere.
I don't know if anybody would listen.
See,
but
Absolutely.
I was like, I could do a podcast, and then I started doing university, and I was like, I could not do a podcast while doing university.
Well, it's
That
just
is a
like
lot.
what I do here. It's like I have a day job.
Yeah.
So once in a while, I'll do this thing, right?
Yeah. Okay, wait, maybe we should make this relevant to W students.
Yeah.
Advice for university and high school. Okay.
I was going to ask. Yeah, go.
In my opinion, it gets better. I loved my time at Delby, but also you get to meet so many people. I mean, it's going to be different depending on where you go, if you go to post-secondary or not. I found that when I got to UBC, I met a lot of people from all across the globe. It
really broadens your worldview in terms of you can ask someone. I remember the first day we were there, I met a girl and I was like, oh, hi, where are you from? She was like, I'm from Jordan. I was like, that's not Surrey.
That's different. But it was also really nice getting to meet a lot of people with common interests and a lot of people with life goals. Not that people at W don't have life goals, but it's I got people with such a diverse array of interests. You can meet just about anybody there.
I feel like in high school, there's
People with purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like because we've been out of high school for 3 years now, but at least when we were in high school, there's definitely a bit of we're trying to be nonchalant. We're trying to be I don't really care that much. It's not that important.
Don't try to be cool. It doesn't
doesn't
work.
matter
It's
when you're
kind of boring, high key.
When you're in university, it's the way you be cool is you be yourself, which is very it's a basic saying, but it's true. No one wants to meet someone who's I actually don't care about anything and I don't have any interests because it's funner to meet people who do care deeply about things. I feel like the most interesting people are the people who are this matters to me and here's why. And university is a place where
you don't need to have your purpose figured out now.
Oh yeah, that too.
You
Everything's
can
always
explore
changing.
things in university. There's at least at UBC, there's 300 clubs or something, and there's tons of classes. You can take a class on ASL, you can take a class on wine tasting, or critical approaches to manga and anime. You can do all sorts of different courses, and take advantage of student resources. Because like there's student pricing, but also there's like a lot of events that happen on campus that I'm aware of via like Instagram. And then I'll just go and I'll get like, it'll be like painting night where we feed you, like you can get like pastries from Brecca and like juice boxes and then just like paint for
It really is its own town, right?
It's its own
so
town.
much happening.
It's like UBC is literally not in Vancouver's like
no, it's like
municipal-
university
yeah.
endowment land. So it's
Yeah,
like
it's
literally
a
its own
separate.
city.
It's technically its own separate city.
And if you commute, pack lunch because like
Yeah.
sweet treats are okay, but like if you're spending like $25 a day on like meals,
Yeah,
it's like a
like
little bit like
the food options on campus are fine, but like if you want to save money,
They have
don't
Big Way
buy
there,
much of
though.
it. Oh,
They do.
Big Way.
They have down low.
Yes.
They have like ever since I left, I've been looking at the food options, and they just keep there's more and more. But I have also noticed that it's not student pricing.
Yeah,
We
'cause
got
they
like
know they
a-
can price
yeah.
whatever.
Like,
How do
right?
students afford this stuff?
They also shut down a few. Like there's a Swiss bakery that closed. Pearl Fever closed.
Pearl
Gold's
Fever.
Gym is gone now. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, there was a Chipotle that opened up like 2 years ago, and the line was like stacked for a few days because people were like, Chipotle's open. We have to go to Chipotle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if anybody has any questions about like university or anything, I guess they can like reach out. There's a great
Or like most, I feel like
Kristie and Kassie
I know for a fact SFU and UBC have
We'll flash a number.
subreddits.
Yeah.
on our audio podcast.
Yeah. Be like, for more information, feel free to contact.
Sorry, they have subreddits?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
subreddits.
Oh, cool.
There's the UBC subreddit. I don't look at the SFU subreddit because I don't go to SFU, but I'm sure they have a subreddit too.
There's like a lot of questions, like a lot of questions and answers on there, which
Yeah.
is helpful.
And it's also nice too. I wish I had known about the UBC subreddit when I was like applying to UBC because the process is like very
oh my gosh.
application season. I still
was-
consider that the most stressful period of my life. I feel like there's been more times in my life where I've had more on my plate, but with
That's the most
Application
stressful.
season.
It was
yeah,
like,
it doesn't have to be the most stressful thing, but I think I made it the most stressful thing because I was so like
You
what
mean
is it?
registration?
Or like
applying to university.
applying.
Oh, applying.
Because I feel
So
like
like
there's
we had to
the
like write our
registration's
personal
fine.
profiles and
Yeah,
and
like
then we had to
I-
do self tapes and everything.
Because when you apply to the acting program, you need to do a secondary application where it's like we were basically just like in our like little self-tape room being like, hi, I'm Kassie and here's a minute video where I talk about myself, and in the meantime
Hopefully
I
you
wasn't,
like accept me.
yeah, I wasn't sleeping enough or doing any of that self-tape
We missed the
stuff.
first 2 days of our last semester at Delview.
Yeah, 'cause
because
we were-
like it was like midterm or not midterm break, but it was like semester break, and we were doing applications, and literally like I couldn't go to school for like I think a couple days
Wow.
because I was finishing up applications. 'cause it was,
Yeah,
like, so
I think I
stressful.
finished. Yeah, it does not have to be the most stressful thing ever. It's just I
Start early.
Start early.
Start early.
Yeah, if you start earlier, you kind of parse out the stress for yourself. The worst thing in the world is to be like, okay, it's time to start my application, and like the deadline is getting closer and closer, and then you open the YouTube video that is like
How to write your personal profile.
People
for
will like make
UBC.
YouTube videos where they're like, here are some tips on how to write your personal profile, which are great.
Very helpful.
And the first tip was always like, give yourself enough time. And I'd be like, oh my God.
It's too
Oh my
late for
God.
that.
I'd be like, I failed the application already.
And it's also kind of crazy that like you kind of have to write about yourself as though you are like you know your purpose in life and your expertise. But it's like
but you don't actually
just be
need
like
to at all.
passionate. Just speak from the heart.
Just be interesting. Yeah.
Well, decide, but know that things can change.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that too.
Yeah.
always. You're not locked in at like 17
Yeah,
to do.
I think that was the thing that freaked me out about application season as well. Is I was like, oh my gosh, I'm deciding like the entire trajectory of my life. It's like, no, like realistically, you're only really deciding the next like 4 years, and 4 years is not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. And like things can turn out in your favor, and you're not. Like, you can change. And I got really freaked out about it, especially going into acting, where you're like, am I signing myself up for financial instability? What's going on? And then I was like, okay, I had to take it and even like condense the number from 4 years and be like, in a year, do I want to be in this program? And I was like, yes. So I was like, let's do it. And then the second year, I was like, do I want to be in this program? And I was like, yes, I actually want to complete the whole thing. I love this program. Why did I ever doubt myself? And I was like, okay.
Well, if you love it, you have to invest in it, and you can't go halfway, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
So
So-
that's not how to be successful.
yeah.
Anyways, we could talk forever with you guys.
Yes, because we're just that good at talking.
We're
I like to say
yappers.
that like I'm an acting major and I'm a yapping minor. So like yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Make your podcast, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll check in a year. Like
Yes.
I still have the little website that I made on like Weebly for it. That's like
gosh.
website.
the Weebly website.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming and
Yeah.
come again. I think I haven't done a lot of, I haven't had a lot of guests come back
Are
for
we
a
the
second.
first?
I think you might be,
Maybe.
but I don't remember.
Did we break the limit for longest podcast? Did we do it?
Did we break our previous record?
I would have to
wasn't
check the
timing.
times.
I know. It's just fun to
That's
come
what
back
you're aiming
because
for.
it's like in 2019, it's like 7 years ago. It was
Yeah.
a very different person.
Yeah.
Very,
wasn't-
very different.
Yeah, I wasn't in
person.
university yet. I'd only done one Delvey production.
So much less character development. Like
Yeah, it's just a different. I don't know. Should we meet up in what's 7 years from now? Should we meet up in 2033?
Let's do it if
Do
this
it.
is still around. If I'm still around here. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.